Hey, this is Amanda Zill, and today I want to talk about fat taboos. The prevailing logic about fat people is if we just all dieted and exercised, we wouldn't be fat, and everything would be fine, and we wouldn't be pushing up everyone else's health insurance. It's like rates, which, yeah, thanks a lot for blaming me for that. But the thing is, nobody ever talks about what happens if you actually try to do it. It's like fat taboos are the strangest things because you go to, I had two things happen to me in one day, one good and one bad. This is when I was going to university, and I went to the health food store down near to it. I've been going to this health food store for about 15 years, never had any problems before. And I was getting my wheat berries and my soy milk, and they had a little flyer on the counter. It was about some sort of Indian-based weight loss program, and it was my fault. I brought it up. I said something like, oh, well, that's interesting. Maybe I should look at that. And the cashier said, yes. And I said, okay. Cashier thinks I'm disgusting. Well, that's interesting to know. And I had never seen this bitch before or since. This was a new person. Like I said, been going there for 15 years. Nobody had ever talked to me like that before, no matter how big I got. And I should have called a manager, but there was a line behind me, and I just couldn't deal with it right now because it was so out of what normally happens there. I just couldn't deal with it, so I left. And right after that, I went to the rec center at the university and went to yoga class. And I noticed pretty much right away that I was the fattest person in the yoga class. It's hard not to notice. I mean, everything in this country, it seems, is built on appearance. And if you're a big person, you're going to notice if you're the biggest person in a room full of exercisers. There's just no way around it. And, so I go there and I start doing the yoga, and around the middle of the session, I start to get a little overexerted. And you can always tell when I do because my face goes bright red. And it looks like I'm going to pass out, even though that's just what I do. I'm usually okay. But the yoga instructor saw me struggling, and he went over and he made sure I was okay and told me not to push it, to breathe more, not to strain it, and keep going at my own pace. And after the class, he went back up and checked up on me again and told me not to worry about keeping up with the rest of the class and just do what I needed to do. And so I thought he was a great guy. This was a good way of dealing with this sort of situation. And it wasn't done in a condescending way at all. He was genuinely concerned and wanted to make sure I was fine. So that was a good thing. But yeah, it's a strange thing because you're in this position and you're a really large person, and you see other people are looking at you like, oh fuck, she's gonna fall over, she's gonna pass out. Why is she even here? Why is she even trying to work out? This is for healthy people. And another story, and this is again from the rec center. This happened about a year ago. I was up there doing my workout with my little iPod on, and I noticed this guy on the machine in front of me. And the reason I noticed him is because, well, he was beautiful. He was perfectly in shape. We're talking what people consider perfect muscle tone for a man who was young and fit. I mean, it didn't look like there was a thing wrong with him. He was really nice looking, perfectly shaped, looked completely healthy. 15 minutes into my workout, he collapsed. He stopped breathing, and they had to go and get the paddles and shock his heart back. And luckily, this is a very medically inclined university, so people knew exactly what to do and got him to a space, and they took care of him pretty quickly, and he was revived within a few minutes. However, it was terrifying. I was watching when they were trying to zap him. And by the way, some people never got off their machines. They did not. They slowed down, but at no point did they stop their workout while a man was fighting for his life. I had to leave after that. As soon as I realized that he was going to live, I left because I wasn't going to stand there and stare at him while he had almost died. Apparently I had no problem staring at him when he was unconscious. At least he didn't see that. But it was one of those situations where everyone probably would have thought if anyone was going to keel over, it was going to be me. But you can't tell from looking at somebody how, it's like if they're really healthy or not. I mean, for all I know, this guy could have had a heart defect. You can't tell from looking at someone. Not even if they're 200 pounds, you can't tell. And everyone forgets that. So that's one thing. It's like every time it's like if you see a fat person who's doing stuff they should be healthy, you're probably, a lot of people seem to be thinking, well, that's a waste. It's not. Being healthy is being healthy, and being fat is being fat. And the two things don't have that much to do with each other, to be honest. Anyway, that's enough.